Hello, and welcome to Not Your Typical Sunday School here at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in LaGrange, Georgia. My name is Alan Pruitt. I am the rector of St. Mark's, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very famous story, one that has given us a phrase that many of us use a lot, especially when we consider the gifts that God has given us in our lives. We're going to be taking a look at Exodus 16, the story of manna from heaven. The whole congregation of the Israelites complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and ate our fill of bread. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I am going to rain bread from heaven for you, and each day the people shall go out and gather enough for that day. In that way I will test them, whether they will follow my instruction or not. On the sixth day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather on other days." So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, "In the evening you shall know that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your complaining against the Lord. For what are we that you complain against us?" And Moses said, "When the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening and your fill of bread in the morning, because the Lord has heard the complaining that you utter against him. What are we? Your complaining is not against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses said to Aaron, "Say to the whole congregation of the Israelites, 'Draw near to the Lord, for he has heard your complaining.'" And as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the Israelites, they looked toward the wilderness, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, "I have heard the complaining of the Israelites. Say to them, 'At twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall have your fill of bread. Then you shall know that I am the Lord your God.'" In the evening quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the layer of dew lifted, there on the surface of the wilderness was a fine, flaky substance, as fine as frost on the ground. When the Israelites saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. If only. These are the words we hear at our worst moments. If only. Sounds like we are in control, when we really aren't. If only I had done this, if only I hadn't done that. Hindsight is always 20/20, and if only makes you feel like you should have known what you could not know. If only is perhaps the most damaging thing we can say to ourselves. Somehow the Israelites, they make it even worse. If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in Egypt when we sat by the flesh pots and ate our fill of bread. Somehow that would have been better. Remember though, this story about manna from heaven comes directly after the story of the Red Sea. The people of Israel have seen the Lord work wonders, parting the waters so that they can walk across on dry land. The people have seen the Lord work wonders, and yet they despair. Which makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if they're just hangry. It's like those Snickers commercials. You just aren't yourself when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. That's the background. They have just been rescued by the mighty arm of God, and now they are hungry and complaining. So, our three questions. Who is God in this story? God provides. God has already provided a way through the water, and before that, a way out of Egypt through all the plagues. God has demonstrated God's faithfulness to the people of Israel. They don't always know the contours of the map, but God is providing a way. God is also demanding. there are some expectations that come along with this gift of manna from heaven. Not exactly strings attached, but expectations about how gifts ought to be treated. And I don't just mean the kind of expectations laid on us for how we ought to care for our children, or indeed for the whole of creation. Those are gifts that come with expectations. No, the manna is a different sort of gift. It's both temporal and spiritual. It's an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual grace. The manna is a sacrament. God demands that it be treated that way. Don't hoard it. Don't collect more than you need. You'll be given what you need at the time you need it. You need to rest on the Sabbath, so Friday morning there will be a double portion, and it will last until Sunday. If you take more than you can eat on any other day, it will be worse than the milk you forgot to put back into the fridge after your midnight snack. Who is God? God provides. God demands. God demands that we take notice. God has provided enough. So who are we? We are the recipients of these gifts. We are the ones who are gifted with passage through the Red Sea. We are the ones who wake up to manna from heaven, scattered all across the ground. We are gifted. Who else are we? Well, we are the ones who don't believe it. We try to make sure of God. God did the amazing thing that we have never seen before. God parted the waters of chaos and made dry ground appear. We walked right through the sea. God did the amazing thing. And now we aren't sure whether God can even feed us. Chapter 15 is the Red Sea. Chapter 16 starts out, "If only we had died in Egypt instead of dying of hunger out here." We don't believe. We want to make sure of God because we aren't sure that God can or will provide enough. The 10 Commandments happen out here in the desert not too long from now. You could break down the first 4 commandments by saying this: God is God, and God has provided enough. If we just believed those 2 things, then the rest of the commandments would take care of themselves. We wouldn't be tempted to kill or steal or covet. Who are we? We are gifted, and we don't believe it. So, number 3. What is God inviting us to do? I wonder if God is inviting us to have a little faith. Not even a lot of faith, just a little bit to get started. We saw the waters part. We saw the amazing thing happen. Can we take a breath and have faith, even for a count of 10? Even when the answer is no, even then, God will provide. And then God will command us. God will command us to wait. Gather only what you need for today. Don't gather anything on the Sabbath. There will be enough. I am God, and I provide enough. This is our word from the Lord. It takes faith. It takes faith on our part to live that way. It would take incredible faith to live that way all the time. But I wonder if it starts with just one day. Just see if you have enough for today. and then tomorrow, and then come Sabbath, trust that there will be enough, even if you don't go out there and scoop it up. Practice having that much faith. And then wonder if God can do something amazing with that. What about you? What do you make of this story? Who is God? Who are you? What is God inviting us to do? Good luck and Godspeed.